Hey guys, Jano Zero. It's a cold, crappy, rainy day and it's winter time, so best time to make winter style food, which for me is vegetable beef soup, stew, soup, something, you'll see. Alright, what we're first going to do is we managed to, some of the old timers down the road there, they butchered some beef and we did some trading and we got some beef meat here. This is an arm roast and that is a chuck roast, and we've got a couple of dinners worth of bones that we saved in the freezer, and you can pull out and use them whenever you're going to need them. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take these bones that we have left over and I'm going to toss them into a big stock pot that's got about, I don't know, 20 cups or so of water in it. And you need to get your favorite skillet ready, get it heating up. First thing we're going to do on these chunks is we're going to cut the bones out of them and all this little connective tissue. A lot of people would say throw this stuff away or just feed it to your dogs or throw your bones away. I don't, because the bone has a natural connective tissue called collagen, and collagen is, one, really good for you, good for your joints, and two, it'll help thicken up the soup. It's like a natural type of gelatin thing, and when you boil these bones, that collagen comes out into the stock and it'll help keep it thick and rich and delicious, and it's good for you and for your joints and for our joints too. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this bone out of here. Let me hand the camera off here. First thing we're going to do, now these don't have to be pretty cuts, just get in there and get that bone out. If you still got a little bit of meat on it, that's okay, because it'll cook right off. Actually, that there, I'm going to shave that off. That'll be a good chunk. Now this goes into the stock pot with the rest of the bones. We're going to put this on medium-high heat and let it just boil and boil and boil and cook away. The rest of this stuff is not bone. There's bone right here, but we're going to get these bones out just like we did with the other arm roast. All this extra fat and all this extra tissue is flavor, so I always throw it in there. And you can pull the bones out whenever you're ready. So get that chunk there off. Get this chunk here out. All right, now this bone here is going to go into the stock pot. Let them all these bones, we're going to let all these bones boil up and make a stock. In the meanwhile, we're going to take the rest of this meat here and we're just going to cut them into chunks. However big you like it, you can make how you like it. If you like big chunks, then cut some big chunks. If you like little chunks, then go ahead and cut little chunks. Keep in mind they're going to cook down a little bit. Usually I just cube mine like you do if you're going to can it, about 1 by 1 or so chunks, and just set them all aside. And then whenever I get done cubing them and cutting them up, then we'll do the next step. Alrighty, now we get our favorite skillet here, which is hot as you can see, and these chunks that we've done, we're just going to scrape them off into here and brown up this meat. We're going to brown it up in our skillet, and then once we get a nice browning on there, then we're going to toss it in with the bones here and let it cook. This is just going to seal in some of the flavor that's already in the meat. Now you can see I got big chunks of fat. Fat is good, but I don't like the what they call the silver skin, which is this kind of stuff right here. This is not digestible. It is not going to ever break down, so try to fillet it off of your chunks of meat if you can to get the meat underneath it. But regular fat is just going to add flavor, and flavor is good when you're cooking soup. So we're just going to brown this meat up. And then once it's browned on all sides, we're going to put it into the stock pot here, which has got our bones. Remember the bones and the collagen. And this is going to make a great big batch. We're going to have it for dinner tonight, and then tomorrow we're going to can up the leftovers, and we'll show you about that whenever we do it. But for now, browning up all of your meat chunks in your skillet is the next step. Alright, our last bit of beef is done browning now. We are going to put it into the stock pot. You want to make sure that you get all these little things that you can down here at the bottom. All that stuff is all good flavor. You set your skillet aside. You stir this meat up and let it start cooking. It'll cook for probably, I don't know, an hour and a half, and it's going to reduce. It's going to be uncovered so that it can reduce and concentrate all the beef flavor. I haven't put any other flavorings in here as of yet. Right now, all we want to do is reduce this for our beef stock. So we'll let this cook for about an hour and a half, and then we'll get back with you. Alrighty, we are at, I don't know, maybe 2 hours or so, and the beef, you can see the meat is cooked down. The bones are pretty much clean. Which is what we wanted, and like I said, I haven't added any spices to this yet. There may have been some residual spices left from the steaks, the steak bones. But now what we're going to do is we're going to go through here and we're going to fish out all of the bones and get the bones cleaned out, and then we will start adding stuff to the stock to start making the soup. So let me get all my bones cleaned out of here and get the dogs busy munching on them, and I'll be right back with you. Alrighty, all we have left down here, see how tender that beef is from being cooked real slow. That's what you want right there when it's good and said and done. We got all the bones and all the big chunks of gristle and stuff out of here. Now to our stock here, I'm going to add 1 quart jar of our home canned diced tomatoes. I hope. Get it going there. I'm going to add 1 quart of our home canned sweet cherry tomatoes, and these are all in the juice. I'm going to leave all the juice in here. I'm going to add what is this, a 13 ounce, 29 ounce, whatever, something, one of the bigger cans of tomato sauce going into the mix. These are some of our dehydrated green peppers. We're just going to throw a few of them in there because keep in mind these are dehydrated, and a little goes a long way. We're going to throw in about the same amount of our dehydrated tomatoes, all from the garden. This is a great use for the stuff that you dehydrate and store away. That'll be good. We're going to put in 1 whole chopped medium onion. Going to put in, I don't know, this is I think about 8 to 10 smaller potatoes. We're going to put these in here. All the potatoes are going in. Going to add a entire 5-pound bag of frozen mixed vegetables into the mix. This is going to make a great big batch because that's what we want, because we want to can up what we don't eat for dinner. We're going to can it up and preserve it on the shelves for later use. These frozen vegetables will release a little bit of water since they're frozen. However, the dehydrated vegetables are going to soak up a little bit of water since they're dehydrated. So what we're going to do is, just to make sure we got enough liquid, we're going to take just a regular can, these little soda type cans of tomato juice, since I don't have any tomato juice, and we're going to put this in here. And if we need any more liquid from now on, it'll be water. So now I'm going to add salt. Probably, I don't know, however much you like. I'm going to put in about that much, which is probably, what, 3 tablespoons or so of salt. A lot of tomatoes, and tomatoes love salt. I'm going to put in probably a tablespoon or so of black pepper. And about the same of garlic. I'm not going to put any dehydrated onions or onion powder or anything in here because we put onion in. Now this is just a start. If it needs more spices, by all means, feel free to stick your spoon in there and give it a taste and see if it needs anything else. We're just going to stir it up now. And we're going to let it cook for probably another hour, hour and a half. Just let it all come together and cook the vegetables up real nice. And I'm still not going to cover it because I want it to reduce a little bit. So now we're going to turn the heat back up just for a little bit to get everything good and hot. And once it comes to a simmer, we're going to let it simmer for about an hour, hour and a half, and then we'll go from there. Okay guys, we've been at about another 2 hours or so in here cooking, and I always keep a little bowl and a little spoon next to it as it's cooking, and I can just go through and dip a little bit out into the bowl, blow on it and taste it. Because this is the time now when I add more seasonings right before I serve it. That's good stuff. Now, this is how I like to serve it. It's one of my favorite things, the bread bowl. These are homemade. We use the same recipe as we use when we make our regular bread. Cut a hole in the top. I scoop out the bread that's in there, and I set it aside to make bread pudding with. And then I take the top part that I cut out, cut it in 4 pieces. And then I just ladle my soup right into the bread bowl. The bread soaks up a lot of the juice. You got some big chunks here that you can dip in as you're eating. And keep in mind, you don't have to eat the whole thing if you don't want to. That's fine. You can tear off the crust and eat it, and you got a nice big chunk of bread. This will probably do two people in all actualities, but it's still good. And whatever we have left over, we'll have left over for tomorrow. We'll can up a whole lot of this soup and store it on the shelves and use it for later on in the wintertime. But there you go. There's our homemade vegetable beef soup. I hope you liked it. If I can do it, you can do it. Give it a try. Anybody can do it. You can use whatever you like. That's the best part about it. I know people who put a little bit of sugar in it. That'll kind of cut back on some of the acidity, but use your own taste. Go for what you know. Give it a shot. Have a good evening. Thanks for watching. God bless in the end. Buzz, buzz, the end.